Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
The world's oldest Christian monastery in Egypt has been overtaken by the government. An Egyptian court allowed the state to seize St. Catherine of Alexandria's monastery in Sinai. The monastery, a UNESCO heritage site, which is still inhabited by monks, and its surrounding properties are the target. The president of Egypt, Al-Sisi, said that the structure would be preserved, but Christians are not in agreement with the decision. Plans to seize the monastery were first laid down when the Muslim Brotherhood was in power. The goal is to turn it into a museum. For Archbishop Elpidopoulos of America, it is a matter of profound concern and deep sorrow. Egyptian authorities plan to close the monastery and seize all the assets attached to it, transferring them to the state. Therefore, all the monks inside have been ordered to vacate the site. It was founded about 1,500 years ago by Byzantine Emperor Justinian, and after surviving major historical and religious challenges, the famous monastery is set to become a museum by the Egyptian government, the Orthodox Church reports. This has plunged Egypt's Christian community into despair, despite the reassurances recently made by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis on the use of the facility. Local sources say that the goal is of turning the now vacant buildings into a tourist attraction much like the pyramids. Last night, Egyptian authorities released a statement to defuse the situation and calm the anger and concerns among Christians. They wrote, "The Presidency of the Arab Republic of Egypt reiterates its full commitment to preserving the unique and sacred religious status of St. Catherine's Monastery and preventing its violation," reads the official statement. The Presidency affirms that the recent court ruling consolidates this status, aligning with the points President El-Sisi emphasized during his recent visit to Athens on May 7th. For centuries, this spiritual institution has maintained harmonious relations with various administrations and regional authorities, who have consistently confirmed and protected its traditional order and sacred character. Its walls have witnessed centuries of devotion and peace among Muslims, Christians, and Jews alike. The monastery's significance transcends religious boundaries, symbolizing a shared heritage of humanity. The Ecumenical Patriarchate appeals to the Egyptian government, based on yesterday's statements by the president of the country, His Excellency Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, to find the appropriate way to maintain the status quo of the holy monastery, which has been particularly respected and has been preferentially secured for centuries by Islam, and to implement its recent agreement with the monastery, states the announcement of the Ecumenical Patriarchate, which directly requests the implementation of the out-of-court agreement. The Holy Monastery of St. Catherine, located at the foot of Mount Sinai, bears witness to the enduring legacy of faith, scholarship, and interfaith harmony. Founded in the 6th century by Emperor Justinian, it is the oldest continuously inhabited Christian monastery in the world and stands on the site where God appeared to Moses in the burning bush and under the mountain of the Decalogue, and where he entrusted him with the tablets of the law. It preserves some of Christianity's most precious archaeological and spiritual heritage. Among the many examples, we have the famous Sinai Library with its ancient manuscripts and the most important collection in the world of pre-iconoclastic icons on wood. About 50,100 visitors visit the monastery and the museums annually. The decision to turn the monastery into a museum was made official on May 29th, following a court ruling, ends a long-running legal case that pitted the monks against the Egyptian state. Now ownership of the site and all its assets belong to the state, and the monks must vacate the place, which will remain inaccessible in the future. In other words, the monks are allowed to remain in the monastery to fulfill their religious duties only for as long as the new owner, the Egyptian state, permits. In the past, the Greek government backed the monks' struggle. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis had raised the issue at the highest levels, repeatedly urging President al-Sisi to intervene on behalf of the monks. Archbishop Elpidopoulos of America noted, "The recent judicial actions which threaten to confiscate the monastery's property and disrupt its spiritual mission are deeply troubling. Such measures not only violate religious freedoms, but also endanger a site of immense historical and cultural importance. It is imperative that the Egyptian government honors its previous commitments to protect the monastery's autonomy and heritage.
Please subscribe to our channel.
A Catholic priest named Father Solomon Atongo was seriously injured after being shot on the evening of May 24th. Father Atongo was traveling with two others when armed assailants attacked their vehicle along the Makurdi-Naka Road in Benue State, southeastern Nigeria, Africa. After shooting the priest and believing him dead, the bandits took the other people away to an unknown location. The news of Father Atongo's injury was made public through a statement signed by the Chancellor of the Diocese of Makurdi, Father Shima Akpanya. I write on behalf of the Bishop, Catholic Diocese of Makurdi, Most Reverend Wilfred Chikbaranabj, to inform and request for your prayers for the quick recovery of one of our priests, Reverend Father Solomon Atongo, who was attacked and shot this evening around Tyolaha, Makurdi-Naka Road, Gore West local government by suspected terrorist. Herdsmen. A reference to the gangs of Fulani herdsmen who have been responsible for violent robberies, murders and kidnappings in various areas of Nigeria. In the past 2 years, the Makurdi-Naka Road has been the scene of attacks and violence by criminal gangs, so much so that it has been nicknamed the shortest route to hell. The road, in a complete state of degradation, has become a sort of refuge for armed bandits who have transformed the extensive stretch of forest along this stretch into camps and hideouts. Their victims include many religious people, wealthy people, political leaders and public officials, as well as ordinary citizens, who are often kidnapped for ransom. Please pray for Christians in Nigeria.
Please subscribe to our channel.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the State of Washington in the United States announced a lawsuit to protect the seal of confession. The bishops announced on May 28th that they are suing the state over a new law that will force priests in Washington to choose between breaking the sacred seal of confession or facing jail time. Senate Bill 5375, which Washington Governor Bob Ferguson signed into law on May 2nd, is at issue in Etienne versus Ferguson. The new law requires clergy to report abuse and neglect if shared within the sacred confines of the confessional. Beckett and co-counsel Wilmer Hale and First Liberty Institute represent Archbishop Etienne, Bishop Thomas Daly, Bishop Joseph Tyson, Bishop Eusebio Elizondo, Bishop Frank Schuster, and several parish priests who are challenging the law in federal court. The Washington bishops wrote a statement to the lay faithful saying, "Dear sisters and brothers, as you may know, Governor Ferguson signed into law a provision that seeks to require priests to violate the seal of the confessional in some circumstances. Priests are unable to violate the seal under any circumstances. As the Vatican wrote on the topic in 2019, the inviolable secrecy of confession comes directly from the revealed divine right and is rooted in the very nature of the sacrament, to the point of not admitting any exception in the ecclesial sphere, nor least of all in the civil one. Indeed, the Church has said that political action or legislative initiative aimed at breaching the inviolability of the seal are an unacceptable offense against Libertas Ecclesiae, which does not receive its legitimacy from individual states, but from God. Given this troubling development in state law, we are addressing this matter through litigation. While the details of this case are sensitive and will be handled with care, we want to assure you that this action is being taken to protect the mission and integrity of the Church. The United States and Washington state constitutions provide robust protection for our faith, and we are confident in our legal position. Our attorneys have filed the case, and we will keep you informed as appropriate, while respecting the confidentiality required in such matters. Thank you for your prayers and faithfulness. May God bless you, and may Our Lady keep you in her care. In the Heart of Christ, ended the statement by the Bishops' Conference of Washington State.
Please subscribe to our channel.
On Wednesday, May 28, 2025, Pope Leo XIV made another urgent appeal to world leaders for a ceasefire at the Vatican General Audience. The Pope has mentioned these areas of conflict in other speeches, each time calling for an end to the violence. Visibly moved, he forcefully appealed for a ceasefire now. Even more urgently today, he said that the cry of mothers and fathers holding their children who have been killed rises to heaven. Here is Pope Leo XIV, the audience, with English in the subtitles.
In questi giorni il mio pensiero va spesso al popolo ucraino colpito da nuovi gravi attacchi contro civili e infrastrutture. Assicuro la mia vicinanza e la mia preghiera per tutte le vittime in particolare per i bambini e le famiglie. Rinnovo con forza l'appello a fermare la guerra e a sostenere ogni iniziativa di dialogo e di pace. Chiedo a tutti di unirsi nella preghiera per la pace in Ucraina e ovunque si soffre per la guerra. Dalla striscia di Gaza si leva sempre più intenso al cielo il pianto delle mamme e dei papà che stringono a sé i corpi senza vita dei bambini e che sono continuamente costretti a spostarsi alla ricerca di un po' di cibo e di un riparo più sicuro dai bombardamenti. Ai responsabili rinnovo il mio appello: cessate il fuoco, siano liberati tutti gli ostaggi, si rispetti integralmente il diritto umanitario. Maria, Regina della Pace, prega per noi. Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sancti.
Amen.
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Catholic News World's channel. God bless.